Yes, people, welcome to the Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. Same people again, Tobias and myself, Shaq. All right. Spurs and Man United in Europa League final. That was happening. That was going to be a given anyway because of the first leg results. But Tobias, if Spurs, and Man United, one of them win Europa League, have they had a better season than Arsenal? Have Spurs and Man United had a better season than Arsenal if one of them win Europa League?
Just for, you know what, it's so difficult in terms of how the league standings ended up. Which this is the only thing that makes it conflicting. If he would have give it like finishing 8th and winning Europa, then it's a no-brainer because you know the points difference but being where we are, embarrassingly, can we really say that it's a better season? I think for both teams.
Okay, all right, Tobias. Would you take second with no trophy or take 15th and win the second biggest competition in European football?
I'm a trophy man.
Well, there you go then. You just made
Yeah,
you just said it then. So you
but
just said it.
I don't want to kick them out and them down, even though it's Arsenal.
I will fly kick Arsenal when I'm down off the top rope. I will somersault Arsenal off the top rope.
Because it's the hope that kills you, isn't it? You know, all the hope start the season, throughout the season, all the hope and like everyone's there was gas for it. They really thought it was their season. I know they do every season, but this season they just had this extra edge. It's like they thought it was their time.
Tobias, I've never seen a set of supporters that win nothing have so much chest. No, I've never seen anything. I've never seen a set of a set of supporters that have so much chest but win nothing. You know them guys, bro. You know them guys, brother. You know them guys who were in secondary school and they're so passionate about football, but they're so shit at it. But they so passionate, they get angry, but they are so poor. That's what reminds me of Arsenal. They're so passionate and they've got so much talk. But
I'm here for it because
they win nothing. They always win nothing.
I was at a family do over the weekend. A couple of Arsenal men popped up and it's telling me to talk about the season. I was like, okay. I said, you know what? Or talk about how dead we've been throughout the years. I was like, I said, to be honest with you, I said, there's a lot of fans that can talk to me. I said, Arsenal are not the ones. I can stand here with chest and speak to an Arsenal man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been more successful than you in our worst time ever. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I will happily sit down there and talk chess with Arsenal, man. You're still living in. No, with you, man, yes, I will live in the past. Yes, because you, man, can't tell me nothing different, even in the recent years. So, yeah, they're just the delusions here. I'm here for them not winning nothing because that just helps me out. And there's nothing better than seeing Arsenal fans cry. It's like peak television. You know, like
the meltdowns. You knew it was coming. The meltdowns always gonna come.
No, I'm here for all of it. But you know what? They've turned. I'm going to contradict myself because they've been semi-finalists. Yes, they lost badly to Newcastle. Then they go in the Carabao Cup. Then they go semi-finalists in the Champions League and potentially finish second in the league. Shamelessly, can we say that finishing 15th, 14th, 16th, Tottenham, us, and then winning a Europa.
All right, like I said,
because one of us is gonna win it,
bruv. Like I said, would you take second, a three-peat of second? No, listen. Would you take three-peat of second place finishes, semi-finals of a Champions League, semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, no trophy, or would you take for 3 seasons, 15th, 14th, and 10th, win the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Europa League?
I'm taking a second, obviously. I'm taking trophies. Listen, I've always been the one. No, I've always been the one sitting here, telling you that unless like if you finish trophyless, then what's the point? But you've been telling me progression.
bro. No. Don't try and. This is what you try to do. You try to do them sly ones. Yeah, I do not. No. Listen, I do not say that. So listen. I say bruv. I say progression, but you've got to win.
No, you was telling me
No,
progression and style of play. Yeah?
bro.
No,
Yeah,
listen. So no,
progression. Go on.
progression and style of play. So if we're gonna go from progression and from progression is staying the same, like winning nothing, that's been their progression, and the style of play is Stoke, like 20, like '08, when Roy the Dap's flinging it in and that. Because when have you last seen the Champions League semi-final and
Partey.
and everything's a set piece? Like it was like Rory Delap settings.
Mm.
Like, come on, man. Like, so if we're gonna go style of play, which has been regressed. So I'm going off topic now. If we want to just stick to what it was, let's just stick to what it is, instead of just absolutely annihilating Arsenal right now, because I'm not here for that.
I am.
I don't think I can. I hear it. I hear everything. But I don't think. I think it equals itself out, because we've both got
What
the same thing.
what equals itself out getting a free peat being second? What do you think?
No,
No,
because
what evens a free peat of second place? I'm just asking the question.
no,
What evens itself out? What's gonna happen?
I gotta be careful how much I laugh, because we could potentially lose to the serial losers in Tottenham. This is why you're trying to suck me in. No,
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
to suck me in, and you're trying to get me gassed, and then we fall into the trap and get annihilated by Tottenham, and it will just be over. Like I don't know what I would prefer to do: lose tonight or lose to Tottenham. Because lose to Tottenham, there's no hiding place.
No, you're done. You're done.
This is less about Arsenal and more about watching me fall into the trap. I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing the game. But I think for us, it's just been. I think for me personally, finishing where we have done this season, even though you can say it doesn't matter, because once you're out of Europe and you're not getting relegated, and what does it matter, if you know what I mean? Then implement what you want to implement and do what you need to do. Even if that adds on to the tax of next season, start of next season, you're in trouble. But obviously, winning the Europa just changes everything, doesn't it? It gives him that breather. It gives more money in the coffers, transfers, and it keeps us alive. So I don't know how we're in a position of finishing 8th. So realistically, we've not finished in Europe for the last 2 seasons, but it could potentially end up in Europe for the last 2 seasons. That's crazy. So it was only in Europa because we won the FA Cup.
But you won a trophy. That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
I know.
You won
And
a trophy. And I think Spurs, if they do it as well, they will have the bragging rights over Arsenal.
And said he wins trophies in his second season.
And he called it. He's called it. I haven't heard Arteta call anything. I just heard him talk about stages. I don't know what stage they're on, but they're on the stage to a three-peat of second place three-peat.
He's saying in previous seasons, in the last 2 seasons, your points total don't mean nothing, because that means he should have 2 Premier Leagues. And then I also heard him say that there's the best team in the Champions League. So
you can't make this show.
And the whole bench said it. So fair play, yeah. Arteta's out here.
Illusion that is finest. Please, Baylor. Please, Arsenal, give him a 10-year deal. Because I think Arsenal, the money they've spent, I think the players they've got, I know they've got injuries, and I think if they get everybody fit, I think next year's his final chance. I think he's got to win one of the big trophies. I think a FA Cup or Carabao Cup is not enough.
I think Arsenal are at that stage or never have been. And historically, if we go through the Wenger years, like finishing top 4 and going on a cup run, has always been sufficient.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, I understand that, but the money they've spent and where the league is in general, where teams are in transitional periods, they were the one team you would say with Man City, and Man City going through a transitional period because their players are getting old. But Arsenal really are the one club and the one team and the one manager that's stable and the money they've spent. So for me, next year, if he doesn't win one of the two major trophies, I think he has to go because he's been there long enough now.
So if next year comes, he finishes second, has a cup run, maybe hits a cup final, but doesn't win anything.
Dead.
How do
Dead.
they get rid of him? How do they get rid of him?
Bro.
Call alarm, 1 second.
Yeah. Bro, how do they get rid of him? Bro, they get rid of him because he hasn't won. That's what it comes down to. Have you won a trophy? 6 years, nearly £800 million spent. You have to win. Simple. Simple as that. You have to win. Do you mean how do you sack him? What he's doing, that will not happen at Arsenal, Man United. That will not happen at Liverpool. That would definitely would happen at Chelsea. Wouldn't happen at Man City. After 6 years, £800 million worth of money spent, and plus you spent £100 million on a player. That's the game changer for me. I'm not even blaming Declan Rice. I think he's one of their better players. But when you spend that sort of money, when they lay down and outlay a £100 million player, for me, that's the player that gets you over the line. And if he's doing his job and you're still not getting over the line, you've got to look at the manager. Simple. I don't think that's good enough. They have to win. I don't know how. I don't care how they win it. They have to win.
Like that though. Historically, that's not how they've moved. They've not moved in a way, in a fashion that they're just gonna. If they're hitting what is perceived to be their criteria of Champions League football, and maybe a cup, FA Cup of such, then I can't see them getting rid of them.
But bro, that's how they were beforehand. But where the landscape has changed in the Premier League, where so many teams are in transitional periods, how many new coaches, teams need to be broken up because they're old. They are the one stable team, and they've spent more money than most teams, most probably everybody else, apart from maybe Chelsea. And they've had a stable manager for over 5 years, Tobias. To me, they have got to win.
But the PR is great. I don't think there's too many fans still on his side. Yeah, there's cracks starting.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. Thank you. I hope so. Stay with him.
Many fans I've spoken to that
stay with him, please.
All for Arteta. So
they're not far off, but they're far off because of the
they've been used, because they're happy with Arteta because historically that's what they've been used to. Mm-hmm. Champions League football and a cup run. Mm. That's it. I don't think for them, like hitting the pinnacle of obviously that's what they want, but it's not the be all and end all for them. Majority of the fans anyway. Mm. Whereas if Man City, obviously you've seen us go without a trophy for I don't know, without a Premier League trophy for about 10, 11 years now. Like cracks are starting to show in the fan base in terms of this ain't good enough. That's why we're having such a high turnover. I think initially was, okay, we can sustain the 3 seasons and etc. But added with the money, no, the fans are not having it. That's why Amorim will have less of a sort of tenure than any others if he's not successful.
Because of history, heritage.
Yeah, because now it's come to the point that okay, it's creeping up now. Like every year is another year. So if once you go over the 10 mark, you're not too far. Now what? You're a third away from yours. 30 years. And look how quick that first 10 years gone.
I told you, I called it.
And now with Man City being how they are, obviously you've had a period. All your clubs run a lot better than ours anyway. One of the better run clubs in the league. Chelsea are just spending money everywhere, and whether or not the way they do it could potentially be successful. And then you've got the smaller clubs obviously improving year in, year out with the money that's in the Premier League. So for everyone, and I forgot to mention the Newcastles that come in, and you've got Aston Villa who's sleeping. It's getting a lot. It's getting a lot. You're coming into a Premier League now, which I think is going to be the most competitive in like ever. He's getting to that stage with the amount of money and in the league at the minute, or at the clubs.
No, I hear you, and I don't want to. This is for a different show. It's I'll say that yes, most competitive, but I think the standard of players has dropped.
Yeah, but that's worldwide though.
I know, but that's why I think it's competitive, because there's no real superstar world class footballers no more in this current crop. But that's for another time. All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tobias, last word.
In Amorim we trust, man.
Yeah. Come on, Spurs. Come on, Spurs.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are. It's who we're going to be.
Lose to Tottenham. Nah, it's Amorim out season, because we cannot lose to Tottenham. I cannot live if we lose to Tottenham. These men have never won a trophy, and we're gonna gift them it. And I'm not confident. I'm not confident.
With Onana, anything's possible. We are out.